Hello and welcome to Big Money, the Federal's personal finance show to help you value your money just a little bit more. In this episode, we talk about our dependence on UPI or Unified Payment Interface, which is there on almost all our mobile phones. The RBI has now allowed payment from credit card through UPI. What does it mean to us? We'll give you some tips and hacks and also get some of your questions answered by our expert. First up, some details about the RBI announcement that has come today. The Reserve Bank of India today allowed payment from credit card using UPI. This was announced by the RBI Governor Shaktikanta Das in the Monetary Policy Review press conference today. By adding your credit or debit card to UPI apps, you can make payment without the need to swipe it at POS machine. Just scan a QR code and choose the added credit card or debit card as the payment method to make the payment. Once you initiate a payment through the UPI app using debit or credit card, a one-time password is sent to your registered mobile number. Then complete the payment. To pay using credit or debit card, you will first have to add the cards to the UPI app.
At present, UPI facilitates transactions by linking savings or current accounts through users' debit cards. It is now proposed to allow linking of credit cards on the UPI platform. To begin with, the RuPay credit cards will be linked to the UPI platform. This will provide additional convenience to the users and enhance the scope of digital payments.
And now to some questions. You may have a doubt whether to make big purchases using UPI payments.
It's all about cash balances within your bank. If you have enough cash balances and you have to make regular daily purchases, then I think GPay would be a good method. But for bulk payments, bigger payments, credit card would be better because that gives you more time. So if I'm spending 100, 200, 300, it's very easy to manage with GPay because I don't need huge balances. But if I have to pay 2,000, 3,000, 4,000, 5,000 rupees, then credit card is best suited because if I draw that one, my daily requirement will. So everything depends on your cash balance in the account. Now, then comes the regular payments, the monthly bills that one needs to settle. So that I think credit card would be better.
Are there any incentives if I keep using UPI for various purchases?
In the initial days when you get into GPay, you start using GPay, they keep giving you rewards of 5 rupees, 10 rupees. So that's an incentive that they keep giving to ensure that you don't go out of the system. Now, there is a certain comfort level. So that incentivization is something which will maybe keep you in the system, will help you come back and use GPay and not go to Paytm or something else. Now, this is a trick by the big players, which everybody would do, whether it's Amazon or anybody, they would do that. So I don't think that should be an issue and that should come in the way.
How safe is it when I keep using UPI to make payments and leave my digital footprint in various places wherever I travel?
Now, the digital footprint will always be there. Okay. Now, whether you do 10 transactions or 1 million transactions over a period of time, it doesn't matter. Digital footprint will always be there. You can't help it. Today, Aadhaar card is used everywhere for proof. Now that leaves a trail of digital footprint of who you are, where do you stay, what's your wealth, income, etc. Everything gets reflected. Now that risk is something that will be there in two ways. One, all these marketing people, the telemarketers who already know everything about you and they keep calling with spam telemarketing calls. But the problem is, again, the same issue. See, if there is a trail and somebody tracks and comes back and makes you an offer, that is when you need to be careful. So it's the same principle that will apply. It's common sense. Don't share. Don't open QR code sent when somebody is saying that I'm sending you money. Nobody is going to send you money just because you're sitting at home and the number is with them. So there will be a risk. So you need to be very, very careful. And I mean, often what happens if you go and try to sell, let's say, used second-hand household items, then the risk will arise. Talking about safety, let's understand where the safety issue comes. Two parts to it. One, at a systemic level, somebody hacks and steals away, let's say, data of a million customers or bank account details of a million customers, or somebody clones a credit card and uses it. These kind of safety measures are there. The second level of safety, often and very often, is people are not careful when they are using. So the question of safety, even before the UPI system came, the same issues were there. Somebody will send you an SMS and say that, look, I am going to put 20,000 rupees in your account, 1 crore in your account. You have won this reward. You send me your bank details. Now the same thing is happening here. So if you respond to those kind of messages, you will lose money. You will be sharing your details. Now, sharing your details is the most important thing. Now, see, let me put it this way. I know the milk vendor. The milk vendor will say that you can scan my QR code and you can make a payment. Now, when I'm making a payment and I'm scanning, there is no risk. But if somebody sends me a QR code and say that, Murli, I'm putting money in to your account, you scan the QR code, then there is something wrong. Okay. So as a customer, use the customer and you make the payment. When you're making the payment, you are not disclosing anything. Number one. Number two, it's in your hand phone. It's in your control. You know the PIN. Only if you lose the phone and your PIN is known to somebody, then there is a risk. Otherwise, there is no risk. Plus, you need to be alert in checking SMSs. There are lots of SMSs coming. So you need to differentiate. So all the SMSs coming from your banks, you need to constantly check them, whether it's 3 a.m., 4 a.m., whether you have gone to the office, you're in a meeting. Those SMSs have to be checked immediately. Now you have to check, and if there is any fraud, you have to respond. And that is a common system that's going to happen.
Let me also ask my colleagues about questions they may have on UPI payments.
When compared to other modes of payment, am I losing more money by frequently using UPI?
Many people are worried about the charges when it comes to payments through the UPI method, whether it's GPay or Paytm. Paytm, I don't know. Paytm at some point, because if they need revenue, they will start charging. But if they start charging, they will lose business. So the question of transaction cost, I think, is partly shared by the bank, partly shared by the customer, partly shared by the person who's receiving the money. So it gets split into 3 or 4 different levels. Now, the system itself is such that you don't, the UPI base ensures that the cost of transaction is reduced dramatically, as opposed to me going to the bank, standing there, withdrawing, 20 people servicing me. You can imagine the cost difference. I don't have to explain. Everybody will know. So you don't have to be an expert on that one. So there is a huge cost difference. I don't think cost is a worry in my book. There might be hidden costs which we don't know, which might come, let's say, at the end of the 3rd month every quarter, or at the end of the year. That depends on the account, that depends on the number of transactions and the volume of transactions one person does. But even so, it will be very negligible. If I had to spend, let's say, 100 rupees or 150 rupees on small shopping, whether it could be grocery, it could be milk, paying the vegetable vendor, or anybody for that matter, I would go to the bank and I will every day ensure that, I should have 500 rupees in my pocket. I should have 200 rupees in my pocket. I should have 1,000 rupees in my pocket. So I might withdraw 1,000 rupees more. Now, when I'm withdrawing 1,000 rupees, I'm not spending that 1,000 rupees. I'm keeping it for the next 4 or 5 days. Maybe I'm keeping it even for 15 days. Now, if that 1,000, and if I'm spending only 100 rupees today, 200 rupees the day after, and after 15 days, I'm going to spend another 100 or 200. The remaining 700 remains in my savings bank account. Remember, savings bank account also gives you interest. Now, from that perspective, if you see, there is convenience, there is prudent use of cash. I'm repeating, prudent, sensible use of cash, not drawing in excess of what you need, or also not actually using for what you actually require. If I just want to buy half a kilo of potato, that's all I'm going to pay, 10 rupees, 15 rupees or 20 rupees, whatever the case may be. So the rest of the money remains in the bank and it continues to earn interest rate at a whatever smaller rate. Now on this 15, 20 rupees Do I have to pay any fee? I don't think so. It must be very, very, very negligible.
For repeated or regular payments like groceries, school fees, petrol, should I use UPI or card payments?
Yeah, from a personal finance point of view, managing your expenses and managing your savings, it's very important to allocate funds in such a manner that you don't bulk amount does not go out of your day-to-day bank balance. That's the first principle that you should keep in mind. Make sure that bulk amount does not go at one point in time. Buy time. That is, you spend now, pay later for bulk amounts like petrol, fuel tank. Typically, if it is a car, you will end up filling at least 1,000 rupees at one go. Now that 1,000 rupees, if you pay by GPay, your cash balances get reduced. Now, if you pay by credit card, it gets carried forward to the next month or the next billing cycle, depending on how close your billing cycle is. Now, there are two advantages. One is that you get the time limit. Number two, you will be getting reward points also. So those reward points get accumulated over a period of time. And if let's assume that over a period of time you spent a lakh of rupees, you will easily get reward points worth 1,000 rupees or 2,000 rupees. That's pretty good. You can use that to buy something else, and those reward points are pretty useful. Now, provided now, this caution is very important. You should not exceed your limits because it's budgeted for. If anything that is budgeted for and well within your expenditure limits and with your income limits, then use credit card for payments like regular payments like petrol, like your phone bills, like your electricity. Rent, I don't know, depending on most people may not take a rent through credit card. But big purchases, if you're shopping and you're spending 1,000 rupees or 2,000 or 3,000 rupees, it's better to use credit card because there are credit points that get accrued.
I just started working in Chennai. Should I use UPI or credit card until my next salary?
Typical salary for a new joinee is anywhere between 20 to 40, 50,000. So they're spending through UPI. See, the younger generation knows technology. Everybody is using UPI. There again, the checks and balances have to be maintained by the person who is using it. How much do I spend? How much do I save and invest? Now, if somebody is earning 30, it's possible that the entire 30 is surplus because they may be staying with their parents. Or if they are staying away from their parents in a different location, then the spending essentials are there and there are non-essentials. So it's a question of planning how you do. So typically what happens within a family, just started working, my first salary has come, there will be enthusiasm, there will be spending. Using GPay, there is no harm because, it's a convenience. It's not that always the parents go out and buy. They will also go out and buy, pick up milk on the way back from their office. They'll buy something for the household or for themselves if they are staying alone and away from their parents. Then I think, see, GPay or UPI is a tool. It's no longer applicable to anybody, and anybody who knows how to use GPay, UPI, Paytm, whatever you may call it, that has become an essential part. So you should use it, but use it in a manner that you don't overspend and you spend within your limits.
UPI or no UPI, keep a watch on your spending. That's the final word from our expert. And now to a very interesting hack. You can actually make a small emergency payment through UPI even when your data is switched off. You can also do some non-financial transactions. Let me tell you how. The service is activated by simply pressing *99#. Users can avail this service by dialing *99#, a common number across all telecom service providers on their mobile phone, and transact through an interactive menu displayed on the mobile screen. Key services offered under *99# service include interbank account-to-account fund transfer, balance inquiry, mini statement, besides a host of other services. *99# services is currently offered by 55 leading banks and all GSM service providers and can be accessed in different Indian languages, including Hindi and English. It's a technology platform developed by the National Payments Corporation of India which allows the banks and TSPs to seamlessly integrate with each other to provide banking services. Now let's take a look at some of the features offered by *99# mobile app. This does not require data or internet for performing transactions. Financial transactions can be made using *99# service. User can transfer funds using MMID and mobile number of the beneficiary. User can transfer fund using IFS code and account number of the beneficiary. User can transfer fund using Aadhaar number of the beneficiary. The service provides basic banking transactions like checking account balance, sending money, and mobile PIN management. It works across all GSM service providers and mobile handsets. It serves as an additional channel for banking and acts as a key catalyst for financial inclusion. It's available in multiple languages. That's all we have for you on this episode. Subscribe to the Federal's YouTube channel and look out for the next episode of Big Money. See you soon.